It's Abby from Craft Industry Alliance. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday. We are here every Wednesday around this time for our Members Spotlight, which is an opportunity for us to drop in on one of our amazing Craft Industry Alliance members and learn more about their business, see some samples of their work, and basically just get inspired. So today we're going to be joined by Sarah Maxwell, and she's a quilter. I'm very excited to welcome Sarah and to learn more about her beautiful business. So I see Sarah, and I've just let her in, and I'm just so glad that you all are here to learn about Sarah's business as well and to learn a little bit more about Craft Industry Alliance. Hey Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am good. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Boston, and so I'm in a great mood. Is it sunny where you are?
It's sunny and it's sweltering. We are one of
Okay.
those states dealing with the crazy heat right now. So I'm thankful for air conditioning today.
Yeah, 100%. So Sarah, we're very happy to have you here today for a member spotlight to learn a little bit more about your business. So
Thank
can
you.
you describe a little bit about what it is that you do?
Sure. So I have my foot in a lot of doors right now. First and foremost, I'm a pattern designer. I love to design things with lots of people's fabrics. One of the things over my career, I've avoided just getting slotted into one style. So I reach out to a lot of my designer friends and design lots of patterns that you'll find all over the marketplace. I also do fabric design, and then I own a brick and mortar store that also has an online presence here in Mexico, Missouri. So try to wear lots of different hats in the quilt industry.
Wow, that is a lot. And do you work with RFL threads as well?
Yes, I do. I've had RFL collections in the past. I'll actually be the featured RFL artist next month on their blog. I'm working on a project right now, finishing it up. So be sure to check out their blog next month to see what I'm bringing you.
That's awesome. And RFL is one of our members as well. So that's very exciting. So you said you do some fabric design. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I know that's an area that a lot of people would love, like it's their dream to get into. So how did you get into it? And what is the process like for fabric design?
So I think it's different for a lot of people. I was very fortunate that I had done a lot of pattern work for Marcus Fabrics and just kind of developed an opportunity there. I started out my career with a real focus on 1800s reproduction fabrics, and so designed a lot of patterns for their designers that did that style. And then if you ever go to one of my Quilt Guild lectures, you'll hear the story about how my two daughters broke my heart when they left for college and for their full-time job, because I had this whole body of quilts and thought they would take some off to, you know, have a piece of home. And they both separately told me about a month apart that they didn't like the kind of quilt design I did. And so this was about 6 years ago, and they both said, "Mom, we like modern quilting." And I didn't know much about it, but if you know me, you know I'll dive in and try to learn about anything. So I bought a bunch of books. I joined the Modern Quilt Guild, and that's where I shifted my focus. And so now my patterns try to blend a little bit of tradition with a more modern take. And that's where I took my fabric design as well. You'll hear from folks that do design, they do it all different types of way. For me, I use Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. And I've taken a couple of online classes to kind of learn those skills. And then, of course, you work with your design team at your company to help fine tune things. But that's the process that works well for me.
That's wonderful. I love that you have like a growth mindset. And when your daughters gave you that piece of news, you didn't just say, well, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing. You decided to jump in and learn something completely new, which is great. And same thing with learning fabric design, like taking online courses to learn how to use the software, which can be kind of daunting when you first open it and you're like, how do I do this? So
For sure.
I think that's so important, and that's wonderful. Tell us a little bit more about your brick and mortar. I actually hadn't realized you had a brick and mortar.
Yeah, so back in 2002, I convinced my husband that I really needed to have that in my life. Prior to that, we'd spent probably 5 years touring the country. We would travel with his work, and I always had that Quilt Sampler magazine with me, and I'd say, let's go check out the store in this area. And so he listened to me for all those years say, you know, I think I could do this better, or I really like this feature of this store. And so I went into business with a lady here in town, and we opened the store in 2002. We have, just like in my own design, tried to adapt. We started out with a really strong repro focus, and now we have everything, you know, and I found to appeal, you've really got to try to reach out and have things your customers want, not just what you personally like. And so we do everything from boutiques to modern prints to still some repro, and just try to have something for everyone.
So how are you structuring your day? Because that's a lot of different things that you're working on.
Yes.
So what is like I don't know if there is even a typical day, but what do your days look like?
So I do have a great manager at the store, and that's one secret. You cannot do it all.
No,
and
you
I
can't.
think the other big myth, I think so many people think if you have a quilt store that all you do is sit home and sew quilts. Totally not the case. So I'm really good at delegating. I try to find great people and work with them and trust them to do what I've hired them to do. The pieces of the store that I like the best right now, I love working on our website. I'm also known for coming up with really unique blocks of the month that we offer. And so I like working on that piece. Some of the day-to-day, you know, paperwork and things I leave to other people that enjoy that a little bit more. So usually first thing in the morning, I get up, check email, see if there's anything critical. I like to spend a couple hours a day just doing design work because that feeds my soul. So playing with electric quilt, that's my go-to software, or designing fabric. And then go check in at the store. And then usually, because my kids are grown and I have the luxury of having evening time available to work too, I may do another couple hours in the evening.
That's great. Good to hear how you're managing it. And it sounds like delegating has been key to your success.
Absolutely.
And that can be something that is hard to do because, as you said, you need to trust people to do the job that you've hired them to do, even if it might be done in a somewhat different way than the way you might do it yourself. Sometimes the way they're going to do it is actually better than what you would have done yourself.
Yes, that's a huge learning curve for most people, myself included. You know, I think anyone that owns a business has really strong ideas about how things should happen. And you've got to take a step back and say, if it gets done, you know, as long as customer service needs are being met and the job's being done, that it's okay if it's a little different than what I envisioned.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Okay, so between all of these different pursuits, all sort of within the quilting kind of umbrella, show us, do you have some samples? I don't know where you're standing right now, but we would love to see whatever you might have, whether it is fabric or quilts or arfill or anything else that might be
Sure.
in reach.
So I'm in my quilt room, which is the disastrous state it normally is. I'm not one of those folks that has the picture perfect quilt studio. It's a working studio. And one thing I saw on your feed that you were promoting a picture of me with a tote bag.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a project that I did when COVID started, and who knew that we would still be here today, right? But
no.
This is a free project on my website. So any of your viewers that want to make a cute little tote bag, we partnered up and called this the Heroic Hearts Tote Bag. And the theory of this was we knew there were so many people, especially at the start and certainly going on, that were having to step outside of their normal workday, especially in healthcare, and do a lot of things to help all of us keep going. And so the concept was you could make a Heroic Heart tote bag and gift this to someone that was a hero for you.
Oh,
so free pattern available, and I still love the concept of this, so hope viewers will check that out. Right now, the fabric that I'm working on, and what you'll see if you go to the Orifel blog next month, I'm using my carousel fabrics that have just started shipping to stores. And there's a teal colorway, and then there's a fun pink colorway. And this is some of the bright colors that I just really enjoy working with now. So that's on my cutting table. I grabbed one of the quilts that I like the most, and you can see this on my website. This was my Choose to Be fabrics. And one thing that I love doing right now is working with just color play, moving through the color wheel, using all the colors. A piece of the traditional side of me that never went away is I like to use all the fabrics, you know, the more the better. And I know some folks like to do a really controlled palette. I'm still the more the better. There's just so much that I like. I want to try to get it all in.
And do you have a long arm machine, or are you sending your quilts out to be long armed?
Because of the time constraints, I do use a professional long armor. I own a Grace Unique frame that I play with in my spare time. I'm hoping that spare time gets a little more down the road.
It's hard,
but
yeah.
again, just kind of like delegating. That's not the piece I enjoy the most. So for now, it works better for me to send them out.
And what kind of sewing machine do you like to use?
I have a Bernina. I've been a Bernina person for years and years. I have a 770 right now, which is a little more features than I really need, but you know how that is. You get in the shop and they convince you need
it's like
it all.
It's like a sports car. You just want all of it. It needs to be cool and fast. Yeah, that's great. All right, well, Sarah, tell folks where they can, it sounds like you do teaching for guilds and things like that too. So where they can find you to reach out, either to get the tote bag pattern or to see what's coming up for you or to work with you.
Sure. So I have my own website separate from the store. And so the best place to connect with me directly is designsbysarahj.com. And the Sarah does have an H. And so you'll find all my social media handles there, workshop information, my fabric lines for sale. I offer things for sale after they've been on the market a little bit. I'm a big believer in supporting local quilt shops. So always want to give them time to, you know, market the things I put out, but then kind of after a period of time, I'll have things available once they've begun to sell out.
That's great. And as a shop owner yourself, you are particularly sensitive to what shop owners need and what works best for them, which I think in all honesty makes you a better designer too, because you can see both sides. So that's really valuable. Yeah. And something a little bit unusual. There's not all that many designers who are sort of in both roles.
Right. It's allowed me to be in a very unique place. And I certainly try to bring that to my pattern design, thinking about the things I want to see if I'm going to offer it in my shop. So I try to bring all of that knowledge to bear on what I put out in the marketplace.
That's so great. Well, Sarah, it's been great getting to know you a little bit, and I'm so glad you were able to join us. And thank you for being a member of Craft Industry Alliance as well. We really are very happy that you're a member.
You're welcome. Thanks for all you do for the industry. I appreciate you.
And thanks to everybody who came today. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.